Why F1 drivers are calling out the FIA. Following several recent comments, the governing body of Formula 1, the FIA, has released a technical directive to increase driver safety. Due to the ground effects reintroduction as a result of the updated technical restrictions, the phenomenon has appeared in Formula 1 this season. Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we will be discussing why F1 drivers are calling out the FIA. A lot is happening, so stay tuned. Some teams have been more negatively impacted than others, with Mercedes suffering, particularly at courses with longer full throttle parts that are bumpier. The FIA has taken action in the interest of safety before the Canadian Grand Prix. It is vital to intervene to compel that teams make the required adjustments to lessen or to eliminate the issue. It was stated in a statement. F1 drivers' concerns. The porpoising that several of the Formula 1 drivers are experiencing in their vehicles this year has caused them to express concern about the potential long-term implications. Several teams are still dealing with the phenomenon 8 races into the season. It developed as a result of the various approaches they took to the new technical regulations established for 2022 that permitted teams to increase downforce utilising the flooring of their cars. From team to team, the problem varies in intensity. Others encounter it but are still able to compete, while yet others find that it limits their performance. Some people largely avoid it. From track to track, the severity of the porpoising varies as well. For certain teams, the issue has been particularly difficult due to Baku's lengthy and uneven straightaways. Mick Schumacher even experienced a water leak during his first practice session. In contrast to his teammate Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz Jr. claimed to have experienced significant pain in his Ferrari on Friday. He said that his vehicle or floor was porpoising and bottoming far more than other vehicles with the same configuration. During a discussion with FIA F1 race directors Niels Wittich, drivers expressed worries about the impact porpoising is having on them. F1's new generation of vehicles. The porpoising problem brought on by the return of ground effects in F1's new generation of vehicles for 22 has affected some teams more severely than others. Throughout the Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend, the problem reached a new high as drivers battled their vehicles bouncing about the street circuit surface, especially after the protracted start-finish straight. F1 and Red Bull. The FIA needs to find a solution to rescue us from ending up with a cane at 30 years of age, according to Pierre Gasly of AlphaTauri and Mercedes drivers Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. Compared to several of the other teams, Red Bull has encountered far less porpoising with its vehicle. With a 1-2 finish in Baku, Max Verstappen and home teammate Sergio Perez increased Red Bull's lead at the top of both championships. Red Bull's drivers are currently first and second in the drivers' standings for the first time since 2011. And the Constructors' Championship lead is now 80 points. Red Bull F1 Chief Horner noted that teams can always slap a bigger plank on the vehicle if they wanted, and that the easiest thing is clearly to raise the car, in response to drivers' calls for the regulations to be changed to end porpoising. Following the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, porpoising was a hot topic. The FIA was forced into action by Lewis Hamilton, George Russell and Toto Wolff, and now it seems that more and more drivers want to see some improvements. Following the race at the Baku track, Pierre Gasly also shared his thoughts. This is notable since Christian Horner is unlikely to be pleased that the Red Bull racing driver appears to concur with Mercedes' complaint. If the rules were changed because a team like Mercedes performed its homework less effectively last winter, Horner would think it absurd. Red Bull would consider it unfair if they were given additional work while everything else is going well. Gasly speaks up. However, AlphaTauri driver Gasly is requesting that the FIA look into the situation. This is because he wants to stop Formula 1 drivers from bouncing, which could lead to long-term injury. The Frenchman tells Autosport.com that it is definitely not healthy. He claims that he doesn't believe that it is possible that the FIA would force them to pick between performance and health. Currently, we are searching for a vehicle that strikes a balance between speed and comfort. Gasly highlights that choosing the setup that enables you to drive the fastest laps is something that drivers do because they want to win, but that doing so does or could have bodily repercussions. Additionally, it was revealed in Baku that the teams were given the opportunity to amend the rules last year to eliminate the possibility of potential porpoising, but the suggestion was refused. Carlos Sainz is one of the Formula 1 drivers that has urged the FIA to take action in response to their worries about the effects of porpoising. Mattia Binotto, the CEO of Ferrari, has significantly different perspectives on the matter. Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Since numerous drivers mentioned being affected by it during the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, bouncing has gained a significant attention in Formula 1 community. Christian Horner has expressed his opinion that some teams may be encouraging their drivers to complain about the issue in order to encourage regulation changes. While many have expressed their desire for solutions to be found, Mercedes has been particularly vocal about the impact the problem has had, especially on Lewis Hamilton. There are a few opposing viewpoints of Ferrari coming from the team. The FIA will enforce new regulations that stop porpoising or the violent bouncing of automobiles. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix this weekend spurred several drivers to speak out and warn that if the issue was not addressed, they would suffer from long-term health issues. This pushed Formula 1's governing body to take action. FIA's intervention. The FIA decided to intervene on safety grounds, which means that their revisions do not require the cooperation of the teams, since many drivers report neck and back pain following Baku. Russell compared in Baku to football players who had repeatedly headed a ball and had cognitive damage. He said that when they had the incredibly heavy footballs and study and analysis showed there were health effects for these guys who were heading the ball. Things changed. There is no reason why we can't come up with a scientific solution to this, since F1 is the epicenter of innovation. Red Bull and other teams have not experienced the issue, feel there shouldn't be a regulation change since they built their vehicles in a way that makes it impossible for them to deal with porpoising. Drivers have observed that even teams with less porpoising want to take action, noting that the ground effect formulas requirements for low ride height and firm suspension create considerable hits through the body even in the absence of overtly visible bouncing. FIA defining solutions. Drivers' worries have prompted the FIA to intervene, and it has declared that it will start by evaluating the undercar planks and skids to ascertain design and wear. Additionally, the regulating authority will determine how much vertical oscillation or safe levels of bouncing is permissible in conjunction with the teams. The FIA will conduct a meeting with the teams to define solutions that will permanently address the situation for the upcoming years, because the existing design formula is expected to last until at least 2025, when new engines are introduced. And that's all for this video. We'll be back soon with another informative video for you, so stay tuned.